Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So, this is my second attempt at my first live stream. I don't suppose anybody's gonna tune in, but you never know, maybe towards the end somebody will. So, this is Superman Volume 2, number 123. So you can tell it's from the late 90s. This is from 1997, actually. It says ready for the next century on the top. So it's kind of very 90s thing to be all hyped up about the year 2000. So this book's actually 21 years old. It's kind of crazy how time flies. Now we might have a guest appearance from my kitty cat. She is hanging out very close by, so that's pretty cool. Oh, wow. And we have a comment from Alex Lovett, who's a super cool guy, and he's got a YouTube channel of his own. So be sure and check that out sometime. So this is a really classic Superman tale. You hear all the time about Electric Blue Superman, and you see, the action figures and stuff. Oh, Nerd and Nerdette Anonymous says, "Oh my God, I have that." So it looks like they have this issue too. It's a really famous issue, especially going back into the 90s. I saw this when I was a kid, but I didn't get a chance to buy it until about a year ago, and I actually found it in a bargain bin for $1.95. So that's pretty cool. And it's written by Dan Jurgens, who, is always good on Superman. So that's cool. Some folks are actually watching. It makes me glad I had to redo this. I tried to do this earlier, but I was holding my phone sideways like a noob, and it was terrible. So, anyways, we'll start off. Go ahead and open it up. One cool thing about these old comics too is you get the old ads. Sometimes I get more interested in the ad than the actual comic. Scarecrow, Batman. That's pretty sweet. So let's see. We start off, and Lois is racing in her car. She's heading to Star Labs because in the last issue, apparently Superman was like falling apart or something. They know something wrong is happening, so they're trying to figure out a way to help him. It's paper. We still had paper back then instead of the slick, glossy stuff we have now. So, anyways, it's a little bit of a recap of what's happening. Superman's phasing in and out, and he's starting to get his new powers and losing his old ones. We're also introduced to this new villain who's named Scorn, and he was actually created by Dan Jurgens, which I didn't know. And when I was reading this comic, I was like, huh, is this the first appearance of him? That'd be great if I had a first appearance, but turns out Scorn's first appearance was in the issue before this one, so too bad for me. He probably showed up on the last page or something. I want to get the issue before this anyway to read it, but anyways, that's Scorn. Kind of looks like Blue Devil, right? With walrus tusks coming out of his chin. That's weird. All right, so we get this full page splash page. So this issue is called Superman Reborn. If you're going to look it up, if you type in Electric Blue Superman, you're probably going to find the Superman Red and Blue comic. But anyways, yeah, Superman's going through all his issues here, falling apart, and he's like, no, stay back. And I wish it would focus on the text a little better, but the people are actually wanting to help Superman. They're like, we got to help Superman. How can we help him? So that's something I always really like in Superman comics, even in newer ones like Superman Year One with the art by Shane Davis. That comic's really cool, and it's very similar where people are like, we have to help Superman. So I like that, it's like they're giving something back. Oh, yeah, I wanted to point this out. I know it's bad form to go back, but on this page, so the colorist is named, who is he? Glenn Whitmore. So Glenn Whitmore, talk about a good colorist. This page is what reminded me of it. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. I love it. So what's actually happening here is Superman's coming into terms with his powers. And what these crazy colors are representing is what he's seeing. And then he starts to be able to focus his power. And this crazy coloring turns into real vision. And then he sees Scorn's about to punch him. So, oh man, I got to show you this too. Doom. on the Nintendo 64. Oh, that's a flashback. All right, but anyway, Scorn punches him, right? So he goes flying. That's bad news for Superman. But he flies into this billboard. And doesn't that just remind you of Superman 2, right? Where he's fighting Zod in Times Square. But anyways, he hits the billboard. I almost wonder. Actually, I think they are. I know they're fighting in New York. Yeah, they're fighting in Times Square. This is totally like a reference to Superman 2. Anyways, he hits the billboard, and it's an electric billboard. So what that does is it ignites his like activates his electric powers. So now he is all hyped up and super strong, and he's got control of himself at least for the moment. And now he moves faster than the Flash. He actually moves faster than the speed of light, it says, which I don't really know how that's possible, but I'm not going to question it. In any case, he comes flying at Scorn at lightning speed and hits Scorn. He goes flying. Boom, sploosh. Yeah, sploosh. Straight into the water. Oh, yeah. I can't really show you the dialogue because the text is too small, but I had to flip and look. I was like, oh, yeah, Comics Code Authority was still in effect because, some of the dialogue is really cheesy. Like some of the things they say when they, have an insult for someone or whatever, it's always something really, really corny. So, anyways, I thought that was cool. Yes, super or comic book logic for sure, man. It doesn't necessarily make sense. So, anyways, we go to the next page, and Jimmy Olsen's moved up in the world. He's a reporter, and he's on the TV, and he's recapping the events of the battle with Scorn, and Lex Luthor's watching. And being Lex Luthor, he develops an evil plan. He says, well, Superman's new powers could be a weakness or a strength. So they're going to be up to no good. And we're back at Star Labs, and they're working away trying to figure something out. And Flash. Oh, actually, it doesn't say Flash, it says Fash. But yeah, I like the colors too on this. It's really well colored. I don't like that with the digital coloring nowadays. Most comics, it seems like, the really high end ones still have colorists, but a lot of times now it's digital colors, and it just sucks. I mean, look at this. All the guy used was blue and yellow and white to color this page. I love it. But anyway, Superman came through because he's got electric powers, so he came through the computer. He pops out of the computer and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" No, that's not. He says, "Can't do it much longer," because he's trying to hold himself together. I mean, he's freaking electricity, right? So he's doing his best, and they have a containment room for him. So that's what they do. They stash him in the containment room. So let me go to the next page. And he's still breaking down, though. That's only going to hold him for so long. So they're trying to figure out to make a containment suit. And they take one of the Superman robots, the little robots that he has at the Fortress of Solitude, and you know, they're a part of the Superman mythos. But anyways, they take him apart. They take the robot apart to start making the super suit, but they still need the material for it. That's just like for the electronic parts. So then Contessa, who is married to Lex Luthor, shows up. Just real convenient, right? So she shows up and she's got this magic special. Well, it's not magic, but this special material. It's technology that LexCorp's developed, and they're all like, "Well, Lex Luthor's bad. You're bad," you know. But they don't have a choice. They have to use it. Oh, it says I have a very bad connection. I hope that the video quality isn't too terrible. Anyways, so Lois is like, "This sucks, but we got to use it." So they do, and we see a boat out in the harbor, and Scorn pops out. He isn't dead. He gets back onto the boat. Well, he gets onto the boat, and I actually kind of thought this part was interesting. I'd never heard of Scorn before, so I thought he was kind of a cool character. But what he does is he pops up. Oh, cool. Alex Lovett says the quality is okay. That's really good to hear. That's really good to hear. So, anyway, Scorn pops out, and he is talking to this man, and he's like, "You have nothing to fear from me. I'm not going to hurt you." So that actually made me really interested. Like, Scorn isn't just a straight up, like, murderer bad guy. He's, maybe there's something to him. So that made me interested. But unfortunately, the guy gets so scared that he has a heart attack and dies. And he's just a guy, too. I looked up the characters that are in this, they're all credited, like Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and stuff. And then there's one character just called Fisherman. So Fisherman shows up on this one page to die. So sucks for Fisherman. And then we get an ad for Rice Krispies. And then, yeah, so we're back at Star Labs, and they've got the containment suit put together, and not a moment too soon, because, oh, Lethal Lightning says, hey, mate, this is my first live stream. Normally, I would, I guess, give people more notice, but it's cool that people are popping in. I really didn't expect that. Lethal Lightning, just so you know, I'm taking a look at, I know it's bad form to flip back, but you're like the only one watching. Oh, it's not full screen? We'll have to do that next time. At least it's facing the right direction this time. Last time I did this, it was sideways. It was really bad. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do it full screen next time. We're almost at the end of the comic anyway. Really glad you showed up, dude. That's cool. I'm going to start trying to do more of these kind of things. So, what's going on here is, oh, I'm back. Yeah, I got distracted by Lethal Lightning being here. But yeah, okay, that's where we were at. So they got the containment suit in Star Labs. They put it together, Superman's electricity, and he flies over and goes into the containment suit. And he's so bright they can't even look at it. And he flies out, he leaves. It's really awesome. And he's looking for Scorn, that's why he's flying around. And I just love the penciling on this. I've already raved about the colors a couple times. I think it's really terrific, but he's got control of his powers now, and he realizes if he phases in or out. You can't hear me either? Oh man, going from bad to worse. Well, I'll have to try it next time on the microphone. That's a great idea. Next time. This is almost a practice run. First time, right? So, anyways, his powers are allowing him to change back into a human now, but he doesn't want to do that, so it's a mistake. And he switches back to his electric form just in time and flies in. So then he's flying through town. Lex Luthor sees the lightning go by, so he knows his plan's working. And Superman flies back to Smallville to visit Ma and Pa Kent. And then he pops out of the TV because he's got electric powers. He meets he meets his parents, and they're really happy, like unusually happy to see their son. I mean, it makes sense they'd be happy, but he is like in a different form. But they think it's cool. They're just like, yeah, you're the new and improved Superman. They even go on about it. They're like, the Superman for the next generation. But anyways, he flew there to show them when he puts the S on his chest. So then we go to the last page, and it's a 2-page splash page. I really like it. It's not drawn by John Byrne, but I think it's pretty obviously meant to mimic that famous John Byrne Man of Steel cover that you see all the time, where he's taken off from, the farm. So that's it. That's the issue. I thought it looked really good. We had some minor technical difficulties, but that's how we do it. We'll get better as we go. But yeah, there's just a letters page at the end. Remember back when they used to have letters pages at the end of comics? So that's it. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. All right. Sounds like we're having some more technical issues, so I'm going to log off. Thanks for watching.